Obviously, redshirting's on the table for both of them. No final decisions have been made, but it's tough. It puts you in a tough situation. You play Bryce in a game like this for 3 minutes, it burns a year of eligibility. I wish it was easier. I wish there was, a set number of games you could play a guy like they have in football. I think that would make a lot of sense, for some of these kids, but we don't. So I can only operate with the rules that we currently have, because I want Bryce to have the best college basketball career, the most options in his college basketball career long term, whatever that looks like. And I just feel like throwing a kid with a lot of potential that's developing, he or Mobile, a few garbage minutes. It might feel good now, but potentially down the line it could be something you regret.
For months, the buzz around Tucson was simple, electric, and loud. When will Bryce James make his Arizona Wildcats debut? Crowds waited, cameras waited, analysts waited, and perhaps most of all, one man waited while keeping a close eye: his father, LeBron James, the most influential basketball figure of the last 2 decades. But as the season unfolds, something stunning has happened. Bryce James still hasn't played a single minute. Not against Florida, not against Utah Tech, not against Northern Arizona. And now the Wildcats and head coach Tommy Lloyd are openly weighing the nuclear option for a freshman under the brightest spotlight in college sports, redshirting him for the entire season.
I'm just disappointed in Arizona didn't take care of business early, because Bryce James supposed to play today. You owe
sure?
that.
You don't think
Nash, you know this.
Yeah.
They're a young team.
Yeah.
So they didn't take care of business in the first half. They were only up 7.
Correct.
But your players that are starting and getting the big minutes, Coach, you know this.
Oh, yeah.
You owe those guys at the
One
end of the
play.
bench to take care of business, to get them in the game
So
on
is that
national
the
TV.
motivation after this? Like, we need to take care so that your teammates can get in the game.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. These guys work hard all week long in practice, and they know, hey, there aren't a lot of games on Arizona's schedule. They're going to be up 20 late. This was one of them. But the guys got in. A lot of guys got some time.
They did.
Arizona
They did.
built that bench up a little bit.
What began as routine early season rotation decisions has snowballed into one of the most talked about storylines in college basketball. An 18-year-old with one of the most famous surnames on the planet now finds himself on the outside looking in, reduced to warm-ups, bench claps, and whispered speculation from commentators who once predicted he'd be a breakout freshman. The Bryce James era in Arizona has not begun, and if Tommy Lloyd pulls the trigger, it won't begin at all this season. Bryce James didn't arrive at Arizona as a 5-star phenom like his brother Bronny once was. He didn't come in with McDonald's All-American hype or G League Ignite rumors attached to his name, but he did arrive with pedigree, potential, and tremendous expectations. A 3-star recruit from Sierra Canyon, Bryce turned down offers from schools like Duquesne and Ohio State, insisting he was 100% committed to Arizona and eager to carve out his own identity. The early plan? Integrate him, develop him, and eventually unleash him. But 3 games into the Wildcats season, one truth is impossible to ignore. Arizona is rolling without him. The Wildcats are undefeated, the rotation is tight, and incoming freshman superstar Koa Peat is already stealing headlines with a thunderous 30-point debut and a Player of the Week resume forming in real time. The machine is humming, and Bryce has not been part of it. And that's when the conversation changed. Instead of asking when Bryce would play, reporters began asking the more unsettling question: will he play at all? In football, redshirting is simple. 4 games, no penalty. Basketball, not even close. The redshirt rule in college hoops is brutally unforgiving. The moment Bryce steps onto the court for even one single minute, even a garbage time substitution in a 30-point blowout, his entire year of eligibility is gone. Once you touch the hardwood, the season counts. Tommy Lloyd summarized the dilemma bluntly: you play Bryce in a game like this for 3 minutes. It burns a year of eligibility. I wish it was easier. The message behind the words? Bryce isn't being forgotten. He's being protected. But protection doesn't ease the sting of inaction. As Arizona continues winning, the pressure mounts. Should Lloyd reward long-term development, or should he feed the hype, even if it costs Bryce a season he may desperately need? Any season involving a James child comes with unspoken tension. LeBron James has always been vocal about wanting his sons to write their own stories, but the reality is unavoidable. Everything they do becomes a headline. Now, with Bryce not seeing the floor, the NBA world is watching. Fans remember how Bronny soared from USC freshman to NBA rookie in a matter of months, how a narrative of development and potential helped him land his landmark spot with the Lakers alongside his father. Bryce was expected to follow a similar arc, maybe slower, maybe quieter, but still upward. Instead, the arc is flat, dormant. For the first time in his basketball upbringing, Bryce isn't the young gun waiting to explode. He's the young gun being intentionally benched for his own future. Imagine being 18, the son of the most scrutinized athlete of the modern era, and facing a season where you never get to show who you are. Imagine the conversations behind closed doors. Imagine the pressure building in silence. On paper, sitting Bryce James looks like a step backward, but in reality, it might be the most strategic decision Arizona has made in years. Bryce didn't arrive as a polished NBA-ready product. He arrived as raw talent, 6.9 points, 2.2 rebounds per game on the Nike EYBL circuit. Flashes of skill, flashes of growth, flashes of what could become something real. A redshirt season would give him a year to train without consequence, a year to physically mature, a year to adjust to the speed and violence of the college game, a year to settle academically and socially, a year to watch, learn, and prepare. In a world obsessed with instant gratification, Tommy Lloyd is playing long-term chess. Why throw Bryce into a few meaningless early season minutes just to satisfy curiosity? Why burn a year only to give him limited opportunities? Lloyd is looking at 2026, 2027, and 2028, not the third game of the season. Arizona's undefeated record isn't just a storyline, it's the biggest obstacle in Bryce's way. The current rotation is tight, disciplined, veteran-heavy, effective. And in basketball, if a rotation works, you don't touch it, no matter what name is waiting on the bench. Meanwhile, Bryce's fellow freshman Mabel Mawut is also undeplayed and also being considered for a redshirt. The message is clear. Lloyd is not bending for hype or headlines. If you don't fit the system right now, you wait. In most years, this wouldn't be a headline, but Bryce James isn't most freshmen. Behind the scenes, it's almost impossible to ignore what Bryce must be feeling. He transferred high schools multiple times, battled growing pains, reshaped his game, and embraced being LeBron's son while also trying to develop outside his father's shadow. Arizona was supposed to be his clean slate, his moment to build an identity independent of his lineage. Instead, it's a holding pattern. He practices, but doesn't play. He trains, but doesn't compete. He suits up, but never hears his name called. The emotional toll is real, even if unspoken. The irony? The quietest decision of the season might become the most impactful. Redshirting Bryce gives Arizona an extra year of development from a growing prospect. Bryce a chance to become a future starter instead of a forgotten freshman. The program's stability without instant pressure substitutions. And in the long run, it may produce the outcome Bryce and LeBron want most, a polished, mature, NBA-caliber player who grew the right way. Sometimes the slow route builds the strongest future. Bryce James not playing this season isn't a scandal. It isn't punishment. It isn't rejection. It's strategy. Arizona has a championship-caliber team. Right now, Bryce is still developing into the player he can become. Redshirting keeps his 4 years of eligibility intact, allows him to learn in real time, and ensures that when he does step on the court, the moment is his, not something rushed, forced, or wasted. A quiet season now could unlock a spectacular season later. And when Bryce finally makes his debut, whether in 2026 or beyond, the basketball world will be watching again, this time with anticipation instead of impatience. Until then, the future of Bryce James isn't dim, it's simply waiting.